we go. We're going to be taking these steps off on the passenger side. For that, I need T40, and I need a 10mm for the doser. So normally you'd have 8 bolts here to take off, but I've only had 4. One was drilled out, and I just got rid of the others because I don't see a point. Once all the bolts are out of the steps, we just pull this off. So here we've got, here's your DOC, the oxidation catalyst, or oxidizer catalyst, DPF, SCR, that's your doser. And I believe this is SCR as well. This is open, this is SCR. Anyway, all we got to do for this, these are def lines, supply and return lines. We don't need to, just to clean this, I'm not going to pull these lines. This is the electrical connection. I'm not going to bother pulling that just to clean it either. We've got a bolt here, and a bolt here. These are all 10mm. And the bolts are out. Pull this and see this stuff on it. That is oxidized def. You've got all that salt on there. There is a gasket underneath it. Keep that off to the side. And that's the port. That's not all that bad, but that's the stuff we're cleaning out. Everything white. And just for information, just spray with water. That's all it takes. All that is salt. Spray with water, and then some of this stuff you might have to take a flathead around it gently. Don't cram all in there, and don't mess up this nozzle, because this is where your def squirts from. You don't want this messed up. And for that port, I usually take one of the screws that I got that I took out, just run the edge of it around. It's got a little lip there. That's the easiest way to clean it. Like the center of my damn camera. Just don't drop anything in there, because that would be a damn problem. Then you're taking all this crap off to get it out, and that's actually cost you money, because these gaskets, that kind of shit has to be replaced basically each time you pull it off. You might get lucky, but I wouldn't count on it. And now after spraying it, wiping it with a towel, I don't have the buildup on here, and the port hole's nice and clear. So throw it back on. If your gasket won't go back on, you've got this little notch in it, and it's only in that one piece. That notch is usually right here. Make sure you line up the notch correctly, and then get everything seated to where this, get out the way, goes, where this actually sits down in these areas. Because if your doser isn't flush, you got a problem. Now, just a piece of advice from what I've seen: tighten these up hand tight to where it still moves around a little bit, and make sure that it's seated before you crank these down. You want pretty much the same torque on each of them, because this thing, if you torque the crap out of this bolt and this bolt, but this one's back here is still loose, then it's going to be angled a little bit, and it could break def. It could crystallize on that lip a lot faster. Now that that's back on there, just so you know, this back panel back here, that's your knock sensor. It goes into back here. Mine is new, so it is that shiny piece back here. It goes into the exhaust, and this is what it is. This goes to your, I believe that's your ash sensor back there. You've got a couple different sensors that go into there. All of your temperature sensors, if you're getting temperature errors, they are on the back side, but they're the ones that plug straight into the SCR and the DPF over here. Oh, there's one. All these. And your ACM is back here. So if you're having issues with that stuff. And since we're talking about sensors, just come around, passenger side. There's your turbo. Here is your intake NOx sensor, right behind the turbo. And on this Cummins, the actual panel for it is right behind the oil filter, as difficult as possible to get to. These are also 10mm bolts. There's 3 of them in this one because it's the stock. There's my reefer gone. But the way all this stuff works, this NOx sensor measures how many parts per million the nitrous oxide, I believe, or not, the NOx fumes are coming out of your exhaust, or coming out of your engine to the exhaust. Then it hits the DOC. The DPF pulls ash out, or carbon out. Diesel exhaust fluid hits your SCR. That's what separates. It's supposed to separate the nitrous oxide into just nitrogen and oxygen. And then the outboard, the exhaust NOx sensor measures the parts per million. If it's not lower than this is reading, then you have an error. So if these go out, it can give you SCR errors because it's reading 800 parts per million here and 1100 there, or this can be a negative number. That'll give you the error. But generally, if you have an SCR error, it's the dozer. Just clean it up because it's not getting depth right.